Before we jump into the next clip, I just want to tell you real quick, we got a new audio network. Go to tyt.com/audio and get all of our new podcasts. So we finally got a Russian agent inside the United States, and she has been arrested. So in fact,
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Got her. Let me tell you all about it. It's from a New York Times story. She has been brought up on charges for interfering in our elections and trying to woo Republicans, both politicians and groups, to work with the Russians. Fascinating. It's interesting how they chose to target the right wing and how they thought they would be far more sympathetic to Russia and the authoritarian leader. Turns out to be a correct assumption. New York Times explained, a Russian woman who tried to broker a secret meeting between Donald J. Trump and the Russian President Vladimir Putin during the 2016 presidential campaign was charged Monday and accused of working with Americans to carry out a secret Russian effort to influence American politics. Now, the most important and interesting part of that is working with Americans. Fascinating. Who are those Americans? That has not yet been revealed, but it will be. And we have some excellent clues here. So let's continue. At the behest of senior Russian government official, the woman Maria Butina made the connections through the National Rifle Association, religious organizations, and the National Prayer Breakfast to try to steer the Republican Party toward more pro-Russia policies, court records show. Now look at that. And the traders at the NRA and the National Prayer Breakfast were like, oh, the Russians would like to work with us. Great. To undermine our democracy, yay. Look, we'll find out the contours of it when all is revealed. They already have the information, they already charged her. It's only a matter of time before it all comes out in the court records, and we'll find out to what degree the NRA were traitors to this country, and maybe they aren't. Maybe they'll say, oh, well, when they found out they were Russians, they refused to take their money or collaborate with them at all. I mean, we have pictures, but hey, you never know, we'll find out soon enough. So, we know what she's been charged with and we know who she tried to work with. Let's go to more details. While Mr. Putin denied any involvement Monday in such activities, court documents showed that Ms. Butina told associates that her covert efforts were approved by Mr. Putin's administration. In fact, she worked with Mr. Torshin, Alexander Torshin, who is the deputy governor of the Russian Central Bank. He's linked to both Russian security services and to, shockingly, organized crime in Russia. Really organized crime, working with the Russian government. Who would have guessed? And now the Putin says, my guy's working with her? Oh, of course not. This is one of her emails where she asked Torshin, quote, I am ready for further orders. Gee, I wonder if she's working for Torshin, who's working for Putin. Seems complicated, I can't quite solve it. Yes, of course, that's why she's been charged. The emails are super obvious. I am waiting for further orders is not complicated. All right, Ms. Butina is the 26th Russian and the first one arrested to face charges related to interference in the presidential election. There are two relevant parts to that. One is sometimes Republicans will say, this is a witch hunt, nobody's been charged. 26 Russians have been charged, let alone Manafort, Flynn, Papadopoulos, and the list goes on, and several of those people have already pled guilty. Gates, another guy that pled guilty, and those are all Americans, all worked with Donald Trump. I'm sure it's all a coincidence. And then secondly, well, this is the one we got. So the others are in Russia, including the 12 Russian intelligence officers that were recently charged, but Maria Butina is in our custody. I don't know if she's going to flip, if she's going to cooperate, or if that endangers her life. I don't know. I do know that she's in prison now, so interesting. And we have all of her information. Her home was raided back in April, and they collected that information back then. We're finding out about it now. In one email, the American said, and this is the American collaborator working with the Russian agent, said he had given Ms. Butina a map for how to proceed. Quote, I and your friends in America can't make it any easier for you than that, the political operative wrote. Can't wait to find out who that operative is. That's an American saying, we have made it as simple as possible for the Russians and giving you a roadmap for how to influence politics. Is it a Democratic operative? It doesn't look like it. But if it is, we'll report it to you guys. It appears to be a Republican operative. We'll find out soon enough. Fascinating, the Russians thought the Republicans, they'll be easy. Okay, we're not done yet. Ms. Butina viewed the NRA as a powerful force for shifting Republican policies, court records show. She described the group as, quote, the largest sponsor of the elections to the US Congress and as a sponsor of the Conservative Political Action Conference. The NRA is not named in court records, but its ties to Ms. Butina and Mr. Torshin have been previously reported. Let's give you a little bit more details about that. Though the American operative is not identified, the New York Times has previously reported that Ms. Butina developed a close relationship with Paul Erickson, an NRA member and longtime conservative activist who was part of the effort to arrange a meeting between Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump. Ms. Butina has publicly described hosting Mr. Erickson at an event in Moscow. Mr. Erickson and his lawyer did not respond to messages seeking comment. He is not identified in court records and has not been charged. So I'm telling you what the New York Times is reporting there. And like I now said 3 or 4 times, don't worry, we'll get to find out soon who they are because the government has them. The special counsel has their names, has all the documents. So, and you don't see the NRA out there profusely denying this stuff too much because they did it. All right, but we'll find out soon enough. And sometimes, as always with the NRA and Republicans and conservatives, they do projection. They'll say, oh, the Democrats, they're not patriotic. They're un-American. Meanwhile, it looks like they might have been working with the Russians to betray our country. That would literally make you certainly unpatriotic and might even literally make you a traitor. Can't wait to find out who it is. Oh, I do know already that there is a picture that Butina, the Russian agent, has with a lot of Republicans, including this conservative activist. Oh, right, that's Wayne LaPierre, the head of the NRA. Now, look, one picture doesn't prove anything. Maybe she just asked for a picture and he doesn't know who she is. Although there are many pictures of her at NRA events, and we have the emails. Can't wait to see you in court, NRA. Can't wait. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.